Exercise and heart, how much is enough? At the outset, I must thank Dr. Vitul Gupta for giving us the opportunity to be talking on this topic, exercise and heart. And we also bring greetings from the land of Pahalwans, Haryana. So Ram Ram Ji. Evolving man, evolving lifestyles. And now this is the man of this era, sitting on the computer, doing no exercise. It was Sushrita in 1600 BC, the top physician in India, who prescribed exercise to the patient for the first time. Then Hippocrates also said that in order to remain healthy, the entire day should be devoted exclusively to ways and means of increasing one's strength and staying healthy, and the best way to do is through physical exercise. So what is the impact of physical activity on mortality in primary prevention? Now, regular physical exercises decreases obesity, decreases arterial hypertension, has a positive impact on cardiorespiratory fitness, decreases the intensity of diabetes and dyslipidemia, thereby having a positive effect and decreasing mortality. So thus, regular physical exercise by decreasing hypertension, obesity, degree of diabetes and dyslipidemia, decreases the mortality and increases the cardiovascular fitness. Now, what is the different effect of exercise on the redox status of the cell? It was Luis G. Ignario who in 2007 stated what is the effect of exercise on cell activity changes. That means if the patient is sedentary and if the patient is having moderate exercise or is doing strenuous exercise, what is the effect on the intracellular redox status? Those doing moderate exercise, the nitrous oxide level increases, the scavenger cells increase, the reactive oxygen species level increase, thereby the oxidative stress decreases. But if the same is done in strenuous exercise, the reactive oxygen species level increases to a tremendous level, thereby increasing the oxidative stress. Thus, it is crucial to maintain and strike the balance of moderation. That means exercise has to be done in a moderate level, otherwise it can be really harmful as well. So what are the signaling pathways, how the effects of exercise are translated into reducing the risk of cardiovascular diseases? Schuller in 2013 concluded the effect of exercise and the pathways through which exercise decreases the cardiovascular mortality. Now the three main pathways: exercise training increases the shear stress. This shear stress increases the nitrous oxide bioavailability in the cell, and this NO bioavailability is increased, and there this endothelial function increases. Then similarly, this exercise training causes stem cell mobilization, and this leads to collateral formation and angiogenesis. And by another pathway, the collagen 1 and collagen 3 levels decrease by exercise, and then advanced glycolation products they decrease, thereby arterial stiffness increases. So decreasing arterial stiffness, increasing angiogenesis and increasing endothelial function, this all lead to decreases in the cardiovascular mortality. So this is the mechanism which was proposed by Schuller in telling the effects, how exercise effects are translated into reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease. That means by endothelial function increases, angiogenesis increases and arterial stiffness decrease. So all of these three lead to decrease in the risk of cardiovascular disease. So what is the scientific evidence or how exercise is related to cardiovascular disease? What is the review of scientific evidence? Now, in the first study, again by Schuller, this study concluded the attenuation of progression of coronary atherosclerotic lesions by a 12-month exercise training program in patients of established CVD. That means those patients who were exercised in the exercise group, there was regression of the atherosclerotic lesion in 12 months exercise period, and in those patients, those who were not doing exercise, there was progression of the lesion. That means exercise directly leads to regression of the atherosclerotic lesion in a 12-month period. And then there is also a relationship between the amount of exercise expressed by energy expenditure and the changes in corneal lesion. That means if we were doing less than 1000 kilocalories exercise per week, then there is no impact, almost the disease progresses. And if you are doing 1500 kilocalories per week you are burning, then there is no change. And more than 2000 kilocalories per week, there is regression of the lesion. That means the amount of exercise expenditure is directly related to decrease in the corneal lesions after exercise. So high levels of exercise training and physical exercise were associated with the halt of progression or even regression of corneal lesions. Now then came the PO study, which was a landmark study, and the study was published in Lancet in 2017. And this PO study, study was the effect of physical activity on mortality and cardiovascular disease in 130,000 people from 17 high income, middle income and low income countries, the PO study. And the conclusions were higher recreational and non-recreational physical activity was associated with a lower risk of mortality and cardiovascular disease events in individuals from any income, low income, middle income or high income countries. Also, the second conclusion was increasing physical activity is a simple, widely applicable and low cost global strategy that could reduce the death and cardiovascular mortality in middle-aged patients. So this was PO study in 2017. Now what is the scientific evidence? How do you summarize the scientific evidence of exercise and CV death? Summarizing the compelling scientific evidence, how much is enough? 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise most days or 5 days per week, equivalent to burning 1000 kilocalories per week, reaches a threshold which would decrease the cardiovascular mortality. Brisk walking has been shown to be preferable to a slower pace. Current recommendations say that at least 1000 kilocalories of expenditure per week is required to achieve exercise-induced protection against premature cardiovascular deaths. This 1000 kilocalories is equivalent to exercising almost 30 minutes per day, 5 days a week. So you have to burn at least 1000 kilocalories of calorie expenditure per week to have exercise-induced protection against CV death. Now, where do we draw a line? Again, where do we stop? Evidence also suggests that the benefit of exercise on decreasing mortality, they plateau after a certain activity level, thereby stating if doses of 100 minutes per day of moderate intensity physical activity does not appear to be associated with additional reduction in mortality. That means our target was 1000 kilocalories per week, that is 30 minutes per day, 5 days per week, and doses greater than 100 minutes per day of moderate intensity exercise does not appear to be associated with additional reduction in mortality. And these are the exercise physical activity recommendations for patients of cardiovascular disease: walking, gardening, hiking, dancing, cycling, physical recreation. These are all moderate intensity exercises. Now, what are the recommendations? These recommendations were published in 2017. The AHA and ACSM recommendations, primary prevention of cardiovascular disease. They say in adults of 18 to 65 years of age, moderate intensity aerobic exercise, physical activity for a minimum of 30 minutes on 5 days per week, or vigorous intensity exercise for a minimum of 20 minutes on 3 days per week is recommended. Then combination of this moderate and vigorous intensity can be performed to meet this recommendation. Also, these activities are in addition to the light intensity activities like we are working on in the house or working in at your workplace. This is over and above the light intensity activities that are frequently performed during the daily life. They also recommend that multiple bouts of exercise, each lasting for 10 minutes or more, can be performed to satisfy the goal of minimum 30 minutes of moderate exercise 5 days per week. at least, and then also twice a week, adults will be benefited by performing strengthening exercises using major group of muscles. Then exceeding the minimum recommended amount of physical activity may provide additional benefit. So what are the secondary recommendations? ACC, AHA recommendations for physical activity, secondary prevention of cardiovascular diseases. They say individualize. Everything is to be individualized. Assess the patient risk with the physical activity, history and exercise test. And once we have evaluated the risk, individualize the patient. Advise for 30 to 60 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise as brisk walking, preferably all days a week or 5 days a week minimum, supplemented by an increase in daily lifestyle activities like walking, at work or gardening or household work. So you can increase the daily lifestyle activities and then this can be supplemented by 30 to 60 minutes of moderate intensity exercise in cardiovascular patients. Then encourage again the same thing, resistant exercise, that is 2 days per week of resistant exercise. And all these programs should be medically supervised, especially for high risk patients who have recent ACS or recent heart failure. Now what is the Indian guidelines? Consensus Physical Activity Guidelines for Asian Indians. This was published by Mishra et al. And what did they say? See, Asian Indians are more sedentary, and then so there was a need of Indian specific guidelines. And a total of 60 minutes of physical activity. 60 minutes of physical activity is recommended every day for healthy Asian Indians in view of high predisposition to diabetes and coronary artery disease. So in Indians, we prescribe 60 minutes of activity. Then this should include 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise, the same thing, 15 minutes of work-related exercise, and 15 minutes of muscle strengthening exercises amounting to 60 minutes per day. For children, moderate intensity physical activity for more than 60 minutes should be in the form of sports or any other physical activity. This was again Mishra et al. In 2012. Now this is how do you prescribe patients of cardiovascular disease? What prescription do you give? For we have 3 columns. In first column we have patients, the other is intensity, frequency and duration. For those patients who have general coronary artery disease, again the target is 70 to 85% of peak heart rate 3 times per week and 20 minutes per session. Those patients with asymptomatic ischemia, again 70 to 85% ischemic heart rate 3 times per week, 20 minutes per session. Those patients with angina, 70 to 85% ischemic heart rate or angina onset, again 3 times, greater than 3 times or equal to 3 times, minimum 3 times per week, it can be 5 times per week, and again more than 20 minutes per session. Those with intermittent claudication or those with NYHA, New York Heart Association class 1 to 3, again walking to pain or till the onset of dyspnea, more than 3 times per week, 30 minute session. Those patients who have hypertension, moderate intensity exercise for greater than 3 times per week, at least 30 minutes duration. And if we see the resistant exercises or strengthening exercises, it is mostly advised for all patients of cardiovascular disease 2 to 3 times per week, only 2 to 3 times per week, and one set of exercise consisting of 12 to 15 repetitions per each muscle group. This is to be done only 2 to 3 times per week. So this again consensus physical activity guidelines for Asian Indians. Moving on to the next slide. Now this is an interesting article, interesting meta-analysis. This is basically a systemic review and meta-analysis in which 8 studies involving 842 participants were seen, and the benefits of yoga practiced compared to physical activity exercise in the management of type 2 diabetes mellitus. Those in yoga group, there was reduction in fasting blood sugar, postprandial blood sugar, HbA1c and body mass index. Also in yoga group, there was reduction in triglyceride level, in VLDL, blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure, and also in exercise group, there was increase in LDL, thereby concluding the benefits of yoga in decreasing the cardiovascular mortality. Now, Dr. Prabhakaran in the late breaking session in AHA in 2018 concluded 4,000 patients, 14 days post-MI and 14 days of yoga care. And yoga-based cardiac rehabilitation in patients who who had already had post-MI. So this is 14 days post-MI cardiac rehabilitation by yoga, 14 days of yoga therapy. It was safe, it improved the quality of life, but it fell short of offering significant clinical gains. It needs to be studied more. Dr. Prabhakaran in 2018. Now, how much exercise is too much? The science is simply not enough to answer this question. La Garche said, we have not conclusively proven that too much exercise is bad, although there are plenty of strong hints. And yet we are miles away from being able to know where the cutoff point is. So still, how much is enough cannot be answered. Now, what about the safety of exercise? Exercise without medical advice. Sudden cardiac death, 1 per 60,000 patient hours. Supervised program, cardiac events, 8.9 per 1,000 patient hours. Myocardial infarction, 3.4 plus 1,000 patient hours, and mortality is again 1.3 per 1,000 patient hours. This is the safety of exercise. It's almost safe. So what does the national exercise guidelines now say? They say just move. Just move. Just move means, according to the US Department of HHS guidelines, this is sit less, move more to implement health outcomes. The greatest benefit acquired by moving from no to even small amount of physical activity, especially if activities of moderate or vigorous exercise. That means in 2018 November, the HHS guidelines, they say is you just try to move, sit less, move more. So just move. Now, what are the issues? The issue is most important of non-adherence. 50% patients who initiate, they drop off in 6 months. Exercise is not only beneficial if it is maintained, is only beneficial if it is maintained for long periods. Thus, educate, initiate, and adhere. In summary, sedentary lifestyle is an important cardiovascular risk factor. All of us know cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of deaths in developing and developed countries. Physical activity is an easy, inexpensive, and effective way to avoid CVD, and the benefits are there irrespective of the age at which the person initiates. So just move, just move, just move. Lastly, good things come to those who sweat. Thank you. Thanks for your attention.